What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here. I am joined once again by Ricky, who has yet another really cool Spyderco to show on the channel. This is another Paramilitary 2, and Paramilitary 2s have made many appearances on this channel. This is a exclusive from Knifeworks. What do you call this green?
I think it's forest green.
Forest green. We have just enough light going on right now from your windshield
really good
that it looks nice. Yeah, the forest green Paramilitary 2 in CTS 204P steel, which for those of you who are not familiar with that steel, that is Carpenter's version of CPM 20CV from Crucible, or Bowler's M390 from Sweden. So exceptionally good blade steel, very high corrosion resistance, very high edge retention. I dare say probably the most popular blade steel right now. It seems like everything is in M390 or 20CV. It almost makes the 204P cool because you don't see it as much.
It's just a little different.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different. Obviously this is not going to be a review. This is just going to be more of an overview, just sort of an appreciation of this. I'm a big fan of the dark green G10. I was telling Ricky before we started this video, I said, imagine that dark green with a bronze pocket clip and some bronze hardware, or I like this green more than OD green. This is like Kool-Aid green.
I would drink that green.
I would too. That looks like a nice color to drink. But that in contrast with Spyderco's usual satin, it just looks really nice. And of course, this one did come very fall shutty. Gosh, I wish just once I could do that perfectly the first try on camera, so everybody was like, that guy knows what he's doing. But I failed twice. And the blade centering, of course, also came perfect. So according to, I'll let you hand model that.
Oh, okay.
According to Ricky, because I was not aware of this drop, he became aware of it because of the Spyderco Facebook page.
Yes.
Is that right? And what day was that these were available?
That was last Wednesday, so
whenever that
20th?
was.
I don't know.
And he said they were gone within the day. This is not the first time that Knifeworks has done this this exclusive. They did do one, you said it was like 2 years ago?
At least 2 years ago.
Yeah, and this is the second time. And this knife became available again and was sold out, understandably, very quickly. And, I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to talk about this and explain, why we show so many of these Spydercos on the channel. Number one, we like them. A lot. Like, we always get excited for a new, even if it's literally just the exact same, he's not going to use this, so it's a Paramilitary 2 with just a different scale, and for whatever reason that's fun and exciting, but also because we know there are people out there who have wanted a Paramilitary 2 and have just never pulled the trigger, and then maybe they see this color and they're like, oh, I really like that, I wonder if there's a video on YouTube. Well, there is, and it's here. It's right here on this channel. And we just want to talk about it. If you're by chance new to the Paramilitary 2, if you're exactly the person that we're talking about, yeah, pull the trigger. This would be an amazing first Paramilitary 2, Now, it's hard for me to say that, and kind of mean for me to say that, because these are sold out. And the only way that you can get them now is by purchasing them on the secondary market for quite the premium, as
Yes.
I've heard. When they were available, they were $150, something like that, which is a very fair price for these materials. 204P being one of the most premium blade steels that you can get in the knife world right now. Another reason, though, if you're interested in stuff like this, especially Spyderco exclusives or Spyderco sprint runs, to be aware of those sprints and things when they drop, or the exclusives when they drop. And the Spyderco Facebook page is a great place to get that information, as well as, of course, the Spyderco forums, any collectors groups on Facebook. This is kind of what we do. And Ricky, when you got into this, like, within the year, right?
Yes.
Like about 1 year ago, was it?
Maybe just a couple months more, but yeah,
okay.
about there.
And he quickly was drawn to Spyderco knives at first because of their obvious utilitarian designs, but then that that interest, and it was so wonderful watching watching you blossom as a young knife collector. That's such a weird thing to say.
That is weird, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. So he became interested in these not only for their utilitarian designs, but also because the way that Spyderco does these drops, especially with their flagship models being the Paramilitary 2, the Manix 2, and the Native 5, and I guess you can throw the military in there too. They do different colors and different steels, and they're like, it's going to this dealer, is doing this exclusive with us, or we're running this short sprint run. They do a few. Sometimes there's as many as maybe 2,500 models. Sometimes there's 500, and people just go crazy for them, and they eat them up. So generally, especially with the PM2, they appreciate in value. And if you want to see what kind of appreciation is involved with knives like this, go find out for yourself what these are going for on eBay right now, just shortly after they dropped. And remember, these were $150 when they came out. So Ricky has turned into a collector of Spyderco knives for that reason. In fact, I can only imagine how many Spydercos you have.
It's
now.
been quite a few.
So if you like that kind of thing, and you like kind of enjoying the idea of your collection being worth more than when you bought it, that is sometimes an appeal when you're collecting stuff. In fact, I would say more often than not, that's what people enjoy about collecting things, is knowing that they're worth more, especially if you're not going to use them. Then Spyderco is a great manufacturer to take a look at. It happens with ZT every so often, not always. Happens with Benchmade every so often. It's kind of hit or miss. Spyderco tends to be very consistent, especially with their flagship models. So I don't know. Ricky, we're only at 7 minutes, and the long-running joke with this channel is that Ricky gets an awesome Spyderco, submits to the channel, sits in on the video, and then I never let him say anything because I'm just talking way too much.
Or you usually throw me like a really tough question, give me like 10 seconds to answer.
Yeah. I don't let him talk, and he's sitting there spacing out probably because he's like, he's never gonna give me a chance to talk. And then I'm like, what do you think about the how the economy of really, really sought after knives in low quantities is going to affect, the evolution of knives as a whole, and whether or not people will remain interested. No, don't.
That's the next video.
That's an absurd. Yeah, that'll be the next topic on our next video. But I don't know. What do you want to add to any of that?
I do like the green.
Yeah.
And I like how they go through different distributors. When they send out these exclusives or sprints or whatever you actually want to call them. This one would be an exclusive, right?
Right.
Okay. Because you get a chance to work with like different companies and you see who gets it to you faster.
That's a good point.
Because one of the last pair of threes that I got took forever between the time that I ordered it and when I actually got it. And on this one, they said they were going to ship on the 26th. And I actually got it on the 26th, which is awesome.
That is awesome. And around Christmas, that's kind of a miracle that
really
happened.
It is.
That's cool. And good point, too. I love, I buy so many knives that I do have my preferred dealers, which I'm not going to mention because I think they all kind of deserve to earn everybody's business evenly. And I don't want to, push people to towards or away from any specific online retailer, but it does give you an opportunity to experience customer service with different retailers and things like that. And generally the way that these work, these exclusives, is that the online retailer has to have sold so many of a model before they're allowed to do an exclusive with any manufacturer. If Scott Whittington with USA Made Blade, big time Hinderer retailer, and he had to sell I have no idea how many before he was able to do the exclusive half track Spanto that I showed here on the channel recently. But that's how that works. So generally, if you are purchasing a Spyderco that's an exclusive run with that retailer, you can rest assured that that retailer does a lot of business with people, especially with that model. So you're not generally going to be at risk from buying an exclusive from kind of a shady place. It's generally going to be kind of set in stone that they're a good place to buy. So, but I don't know. If you're interested in folding knives and you've never taken a look at Spyderco, I hope we've given you a whole bunch of reasons to take a look, because we really like to do this, and we really like to show these different exclusives. Like I said, even if it's just a different color scale.
Yeah.
And with this, like the S30V version has like the exact same finish on the blade. It has different printing on it.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, it's really nice to just look at it and go, oh, yeah, that's nice. Look at that. 204p.
Even though it's not going to cut anything, it's nice to be able to understand that that's a lot better.
Correct. And if you are interested in one of these to use, again, this would make an unbelievable user. Absolutely. This might be, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is my favorite PM2 that I've ever seen. Like this, and you guys might know, like, of all the knives that are hailed as some of the best EDC blades on the planet, the PM2 seems to always have led the way. And I give it more crap than anything else on my channel. But I always have to say, like, I do really like it. I really like the PM2. I just, my complaints, for whatever reason, maybe it's like, it's the star athlete. So, like, I'm, like, being the hardest on it on purpose. Or it's, like, the star pupil.
It's in the spotlight,
yeah.
so it has the hardest critique.
I'm grading the PM2's paper a little bit harder, Something I almost forgot to do now that we have this opportunity.
I was going to remind you, don't worry.
Oh, thanks. Ricky is my, he reminds me, like, I'll tell him, like, this is what I want to talk about in this video. And I don't like hand him a script. I'm like, this is what I want to talk about. Here's 18 points I want to cover.
Make sure I hit them all.
Yeah. I want to show these two side by side because multiple times in multiple videos, the Shaman has been called the PM2 killer, and I think that's probably just people wanting to stir the pot, get you to click on their videos. But I don't know. I mean, they're both about the same size. The PM2's just a hair longer. Let me see. Let me get these butt to butt so we can show. PM2's a hair longer. Cutting edge, though, honestly, I think, boy, it looks like the cutting edges are pretty darn close.
They look about the same.
If anything, the PM2's probably got still a little bit longer cutting edge. Now, you definitely still have a slicier blade on the PM2, and now that I look at it, it's interesting because it almost looks like the Shaman drops from higher. And the blade thickness is the exact same between the two knives. Now, the geometry between the two blades is a little bit different. I imagine that's why the PM2 is more slicey. But your overall thickness between the two knives is, we held them up to each other right before we started the video. They are actually identical in terms of handle thickness. Maybe you want to stabilize that one there. But just so you can see there, both the scales, the contouring of the Shaman is throwing us off here, but yeah, we're looking at the exact same thickness. Now overall, I'm not going to set this down right on top of it, but in terms of like how much space they're taking up height wise, I don't know, PM2's taking up a little bit more space. I'm a big fan of how the pocket clip relates to the lanyard on the Shaman, and not so much as the PM2, but most people disagree with me. I found that, like, most people, like, hate this. They're like, I hate that, I don't like it. And I'm like, why? It looks nice. But I don't know, maybe that makes me less credible. But I'm just being honest, that's what I like. Now, and I will say this. In terms of opening smoothness, because my Shaman has broken in, and this PM2 is brand new, they both do this drop shutty thing. And that's really nice. This one drops really hard because the blade is bigger and heavier. But in terms of opening smoothness, boy, the PM2 is way smoother. Give that a shot for yourself. You heard me say it. Let's watch Ricky do it and see if he says exactly the same thing. I'm going to guess that he will.
I would agree. I wonder if it's because this blade has so much more mass. I wonder if that is playing a
I
factor
don't.
there.
It might. I mean,
I can't tell.
I wonder how much tension we have on this compression lock versus this compression lock. I have to remember that when I do that, it will release the blade potentially into my finger. That's when you're holding a camera and doing this, you forget that you're actually handling sharp objects.
Well, you just look through the camera and then you forget that's your hand
Yeah,
on the other side.
It's actually reality that's happening in front of my hand, not a video game. So actually both, that's weird. Both compression locks feel like they have the same tension, so you're not losing anything in terms of lockup strength with this one. Why is this one so much smoother? I mean, I've seen disassembly videos on the Shaman. They have like this new polished detent ball path on this thing. I mean, this thing is still very easy to like Spidey flick, and it's still very drop sheddy, and it's smooth. But like, there's a little bit of a, there's just a little bit of a rub, on this one. This one feels more like heavy duty, like kind of like the outdoor working man's version, and like the PM2, obviously, it's still got that same feeling, but it feels just a little, it's just smoother. It's just that opening feeling is just a little bit more elegant. But yeah, that's, I kind of wanted to do that and do some experimenting and some natural reactions on camera there. So, it's funny to me that they come standard with the pocket clip tipped down. Isn't that odd? Why? Spyderco, you silly gooses, put it on the right part. People are like, well, I carry it like that. Don't say that.
But some of my Para 3, the Cutlery Shop exclusive, it came down here, I think.
Really?
So it's like almost like it's different. I wonder if they have some type of say as to which side that gets put on. Maybe
they do. That would make sense.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know that there's really a whole lot more we can say. We're at 16. We're at like 17 minutes now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is seriously, this is my favorite Spyderco exclusive / sprint. Of all the Spyderco sprints and exclusives I've ever seen, this is my favorite one. I love it. I think it's really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. And if you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So check all that content out. And if you enjoy all of that, then subscribe to my channel because there's definitely more coming. Thanks for watching and have a great day.